Okay, so took a picture of the last 8 question spread that we had here, and now we're just going to do 2 more questions. And before we move forward, I wanted to circle back to the party or social gathering card. It could mean this is a big, huge case for the office that Ann Taylor is coming from, the defense attorney's office that she works for. And so I think she's like a senior attorney there. And like, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And I can even sense them when that case was assigned to her in that defender's office, that, her office, there may have been even some celebrations, is what I'm picking up on the card. It hit me just as I was cleaning off the table and putting the cards back, and I was like, that's probably what that means. Hired help could also be, because this was the card that came up to about the prosecution. I think that they are really wanting to make sure that they have an airtight case against Bryan. So this could mean that they have to raise some issues about, I think right now they're contemplating on whether or not to raise the issue further with the conflict of interest. But I also think they have their eyes set on any potential arguments that the defense could have as it relates to some of the evidence. In particular, something about the contamination of it. So I just wanted to, before we move to these last 2 questions, circle back to these cards. I'm going to put them back into the deck. And now we're going to ask the last 2 questions to wrap up this reading. What are some obstacles and challenges Anne will face in defending Bryan? This is 7 of Swords. Look at that. This is going to be the fight of her career in defending him. And it's so interesting that I decided to use this deck. This is a new deck in my collection. So busting it in or breaking it in, busting it in. Look at this predator, amongst the tree branches. And so this card is about protection, defending something or someone. And it is so telling that it is this large cat here. And she knows like what's at stake here. Because there is a part of her that I feel that she knows that he, it's not a matter of knowing that he did it for her, but it's a matter of showing that she has given the great fight of defending him. And sometimes you are defending like the indefensible, I guess you could say. And so that could be a definite crisis of consciousness for her with the 7 of Swords. I'll just shuffle and see. Sarah, what are some obstacles and challenges Anne will face defending Bryan? Oh, Spirit wants to talk a little bit about the personal with her. And then also, I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I don't know. Does she have family? Oh my gosh. These are the cards that are jumping. So let me show you. I'll zoom in for a moment. So the burial or grave card is about having to bury something. Bury some evidence, squash it from having to see the light of day before a jury. So something having to do with defending him, and that could be quite a challenge. A lot of trying to suppress things with motions or what have you. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what is actually able to go to trial versus what may, based on some legalities, what could be buried. This also, burial or grave, could speak to something being unearthed about this person that she's defending. It could mean that maybe a family member comes forward with some critical information. It could be a family member of one of the victims, a family member of Bryan's. It could be, somebody coming forth with some information. Someone who felt like family to maybe the victims. I don't know, but there could be also something unearthed. Maybe this is dealing with family history, children, a propensity for doing things like thrill kills or a budding S-killer. Okay, there could be something that she's having to really reconcile here. This also could speak to her personally. Maybe, if she's a mother or grandmother, not being able to spend as much time with family members, people are starting in her life are going to feel the pressure that she's about to be under. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny, a judgment against her for representing him. And then it's her job to really push out all that noise and be tunnel vision and work lots of hours. And that's going to come with a lot of sacrifice. In the present moment, it's going to come with some sacrifices to defending this devil. This is the devil that jumped. Let me zoom out so you can see what I'm working with here. She's representing, and she's also got to show that he's, someone who is worthy of maybe keeping alive. When I see the children card, fighting for his life, it's going to be the fight for her career. But I honestly think that she's going to come out ahead with the 10 of Cups from earlier in terms of what's going to happen with her career. But in terms of this is going to be a big battle for her. But I do sense that with the embodiment of the Pentacles, this is the King of Pentacles, she will be ultimately, she's defending the devil. And she will be rewarded for doing that, like dancing with the devil, devil's advocate, She is the right one in terms of being the attorney that can do this in the state of Idaho. She is the one. But this is going to be challenging, but ultimately for her career, very rewarding. But there will be sacrifices. We are dealing with someone who did a terrible act here to somebody's children, the victims. She's going to have to contend with the family members, maybe testifying. Hopefully many of them don't have to. But, how the victim impact statements will impact jurors. There's a lot that goes into all of a criminal trial, and she's defending the devil. Okay, so moving on to the last question. We're just going to ask this quickly because, this is based on the current energies. We may have to do a reading in the future as time progresses on. And also people can change course, change strategies. But based on the current energy, Spirit, what is next for the legal proceedings? Action of Pentacles. Slowly prodding towards the court proceedings. This is the Action of Pentacles, traditionally the Knight of Pentacles. This is not going to be something, unfortunately, that's going to get resolved quickly. The Pentacles represents the season of autumn for me. It can represent the timing of years, but I'm sensing more so than ever, it's like the next big development is happening. Not in June. That's the preliminary hearing. But in... that's just the preliminary, I can't even talk, the preliminary hearing. That is not even, we're not even setting anything forward in terms of the actual trial. So that's just to let you all know that there's going to be slow, deliberate steps to getting to a trial date, getting to knowing like what exactly are we dealing with as a defendant with Bryan. Like we won't probably really start to see his true colors until autumn. Okay. And the Pentacles also could indicate that this could drag out for years. Okay. So, again, what is this? A gag order to me is what this is kind of speaking on, the suffocation. And I sense benefiting from a gag order and fighting for a gag order is going to be something that's like really the next big frontier for this case, is dealing with the gag order with the suffocation card. A lot of, I guess, folks want to be able to say what they need to say about what happened in the case, as long as it's not really hampering, the upcoming legal proceedings. But, the family members of the victims, they're feeling the restriction of the gag order. But I think I don't know how the defense feels about it, but I'm pretty sure all the attorneys are like, no, the gag order is a good idea. So that's the next hurdle, is this. There's also going to be a lot more talk about what evidence that they have, they being law enforcement and the prosecution, in terms of surveillance, seeing the vehicle, and how that's going to kind of go back and forth. Like, is that his vehicle? And they're going to be like, yes, it is. It's going to be like this whole, like, are we really hearing them argue about this? So that's going to be coming up as well. Not quite sure what the Lover's card is speaking to here. It was on the table, so I was called to mention it. That's what I was intuitively led to say. So something about the Lover's card is saying maybe there's past folks who have dealt with him coming forward, more people coming forward. I know he went on was it Tinder? I don't remember which dating app. He went on a dating app date, and that lady was talking on social media, and then there's probably going to be others that are coming forward and giving information that are not necessarily protected under the gag order, but once they start talking, well, that may change. So anyways, it's gonna be a long road ahead, folks. Do me a favor, on your way out, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you to those who share my videos. Check out I think I did make a playlist for this, what happened to these 4 students. So that will be in the description box. Check out the videos, because I do speak more about the overall outcome of the legal proceedings. This is just looking specifically at Anne, and also just kind of where we're at, a little snapshot of where we're at right now with the legal proceedings. Things obviously can change, but in my last readings I did on this case, I do explore what's the likely outcome pertaining to what's going to happen to Bryan in this whole thing. And of course, he's innocent until proven guilty. So there you have it, folks. I just felt called to do this reading. Curious to hear what you think about Miss Anne and what you think about this case, the latest that's been going on, the, non-conflict of, interest issue that's where we're at. So let me know what you think in the comments section. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.